Hi, guys. All right, it's Tuesday. I'm really going to work on my likes and ums. I heard myself and I was like, I hate that.
It is weird. Like, stop it. It is weird. No, I don't want to say like. It's weird when you listen to your own self. It's like they say when you, where was I just recently? Were we talking about it? Or for a kid to, when he's practicing doing a speech, to actually film yourself, because sometimes you have, I know what we were talking about.
What?
They were talking about like interviewing for a new school. And there are things that you do that you might not realize that you do.
What? So watch yourself?
No. Just like, film yourself, watch yourself.
But that's hard for a kid. That's hard for an adult.
But it's true. But I guess in the interview process, what they were trying to say is that sometimes if you're nervous, you might do things that, but you know, when I think about that,
that's humanity.
I totally agree. I'm like, so if I guess it could be annoying and distracting if he's like always playing with his hair or something, how boys do. Like always just like playing with his hair.
I guess it shows you're insecure in what you're saying. If you're like, I just said it. If you are, what's a different word than like? If you are playing with your hair, because when you say like, you're describing what it's like.
Yeah.
If you play your hair. Anyways, we're going to work on this. It's been this many years and I'm still.
And you know, some people, they, and a lot of you guys that are listening, you do not like the sound of your own voice. Like when people used to hear themselves on answering machines. I think I've always liked listening to my own voice.
It is funny because obviously I have Invisalign in my mouth.
Oh
and
my
I
gosh,
have had Invisalign in my mouth now since July.
How long do you have it for?
August, September, October. Well, I don't know. I forget. Like I believe I'm on so every 2 weeks you get different packets. Okay. So you can change them out, change them in, change them out. And it's every 2 weeks. Children's mouths move faster. You can go even faster than that. So it's kind of crazy like how quickly you can do it. So you have these packets. So it's never the same retainer for that long, which is great because you can kind of put new ones in and you feel like they're all fresh.
And also Teddy, so you guys, how old is that kid?
12. For 13. He's 13. He just turned 13.
He's a teenager. So he has them as well. And when he was at school one day, and he's very responsible, but he threw it out with his lunch. But instead of me having to like go to the orthodontist and be like, oh my God, he broke a bracket, whatever. He's literally like, well, I'm halfway through. I'm going to jump to the next one.
We weren't there either.
I know.
So your husband would have had 4 children to navigate. And then if it was a bracket, he would have had to go to the dentist as an emergency to go get it fixed. You're uncomfortable when it happens.
Yes.
So it was a total win, right?
And so right now, Tucker, they're like, okay, so Tucker's ready to start his orthodontic work. If he's ready, we're ready. So it's like, okay, I'm like, are we doing brace? They're like, do you want to do is Invisalign or braces? And I'm like, well, I assumed that, and this is for Teddy too, I always just thought Invisalign was more expensive than braces. And, and that's why people didn't do it.
Not true.
Not the case. In fact, they said because of the faster time that it will take doing Invisalign, it will actually cost you less. So Tucker is going to do Invisalign too, which is so cool because brace face used to be like such a big part of that part of your life. And I don't even notice you have them in, and I don't notice Teddy has them in.
Yeah, there's no food restrictions either, which I know is a huge thing because when Olivia first got braces before she's doing Invisalign, she was sushi would get stuck in her mouth. So sushi would full on. She couldn't do sushi because of the.
Oh yeah, it's just embarrassing too. The pieces get stuck, and the other thing is, no restrictions. So like, you can, because you take them out to eat, you can literally eat anything. Like there's nothing off limits.
Nothing off limits. So yeah, no, it's. But I meant that I don't talk differently. Like everyone, there was some things where people would say, and I'm like, I don't feel like I talk that differently. Sometimes there's a few words, but overall, I do podcasts with them. I do live tours with them.
And this weird thing about Invisalign is that Cat had said something once that it's like this weird feeling where it feels like, explain what the comfort thing. Oh.
very, 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 that it's just something in my mouth that you begin to just, it's not a big deal. I guess that's the whole point, is
Totally.
a lot of adults have misconceptions on what it would be like. And I can highly recommend it. And I think that everyone has to go and, it's been minimal pain from my perspective. Not to say that there's no pain, but there's been no pain for me. So it's been a really interesting journey, and my mouth has not changed that much, and I thought it would. I mean, my teeth.
Smile. I just never. I mean, I think they look different.
They do. 100% they look different.
That is so crazy.
They really
because
do.
I wasn't actually prepared.
Yeah.
For you to change the look of your mouth.
I wasn't.
Like, I don't think we really discussed it.
Yeah.
I think, we discussed my teeth a lot.
Yeah, we did. It was a big, I think what you need to do is everyone needs to go and do their research, and it really is interesting to see the options you have. And, for me, it was something where I had never had braces, and I always saw it and thought about it. And I was like, I always toyed with it. I've been talking about it for years. And as you get older, your teeth move. Mm-hmm. Your teeth are always moving. And if you have crowding, they'll just keep crowding.
You're going to have perfect teeth.
I have perfect teeth. So I was talking to the dentist, and I'm like, is this
Seems
really
a little unfair?
I go, is this going to make a difference? And she's like, yeah, it's going to make a huge difference. And I was like,
I can't believe it.
And I really didn't know what I was getting into, but it was really not that big of a deal. Like, the first day I was like, oh, I just did this. And then I was like, oh, it's fine. It's great.
I feel like maybe your two front teeth were a little bit in front of the other, not like a lot, but a little bit. And now they're all just going to be aligned, which actually makes the front part of your smile like wider and more even.
Yes.
Which is really beautiful.
Thanks, Natalie.
Well, I mean,
Natalie likes teeth.
I know.
It's just, you don't know teeth. If you don't look at teeth, you don't know teeth. Which is, follow me. If you're not a tooth person, like if you're not, like Natalie will see someone walking and say, did you see her nail color polish? I'm like, no. And then right away. But
teeth, yeah. And I also know that like having beautiful teeth can also be like it feels like such a privilege. Like we're so lucky that we have the ability, and we live in a country that has this kind of orthodontics.
Aligners where I can throw them in and throw them out and go for dinner and take them out and have conversations. And if I needed to go on some big TV show where I didn't want to wear aligners, I could.
You could take them out.
Yeah, ma'am.
And you can wear them for sports.
Everything.
Gosh, I remember when I have had, I'll never forget when my sister had braces and she was jumping on the trampoline and the brace broke and it went into her lip and they had to go to the hospital. Like, this never happened. You know what I feel like with the teenagers, and maybe for yourself? I feel like his orthodontics are not my problem as a mom, whereas braces was constantly my problem.
That's a very good point. I'm looking for less problems in my life right now. I think we're all looking for less problems in our life. I had an epiphany. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this on the podcast, but recently I had thought so much.
What do you mean allowed?
Because you had said to me, it's weird to think that people don't like me. I've never had someone not like me, right? And I'm like whatever that means, okay? And I mean, like when someone has like an ish, okay? And I thought, I'm like, well, first of all, I'm sure people have, you just haven't known it.
Yeah.
Or you just haven't felt it.
Yeah.
And then I thought,
I do remember the one time I heard something.
About you recently?
Yeah, no. But I told you about this. No, about me. And because I had been at a school and I wasn't friends with a girl.
Oh,
and
right.
And then I met her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's like, oh my gosh, like he's like, you're so nice. But I heard that you were like kind of bitchy, and I was like, I never really talked to your girlfriend that much, so it was an assumption. And he was just so surprised how nice I was. I was like, I've always been like this.
And yeah, no, I thought that when people got older, they got less caring about what other people did. Like, you're supposed to be less caring about what you do and care less about what other people do too.
And in that vein, just because of experience, being more open-minded that all people are different.
I mean, and really, who has the capacity or energy to care about what other people are doing? Who has the capacity to care about what, like, but then I thought to myself, you did get in a confrontation, which you never have gotten in before.
I know.
So it's kind of going,
so maybe it's me.
I didn't think it was you. I was just saying,
No.
it's so interesting that maybe you are changing too. And
So maybe it's me getting older.
I know. And
I also, that the confrontation with, there's been a few lately.
exactly. And I said, because you're
God.
like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to say how I feel. So I'm wondering if before you placated people because you didn't want to have a confrontation, and now you're fuck it, and people don't like that script that you subscribe to. So now they have a problem with your fuck it because they're used to you a certain way, and you are growing up and not taking people's shit anymore, or you're saying what you feel, and people are like, I don't like that. You sit back down and just be happy and quiet in the corner. Just something I was thinking about, because I think that as we change, and people like to blame us for our change rather than look at how they saw us and how they see us. And if you're not looking at people how you saw them and how you see them, then they're not changing, because people are constantly changing and evolving and growing. And it sometimes takes an event for people to see the growth, maybe a divorce, maybe a move, maybe a sick child, maybe something where you can see you can see why there would be growth. But if you can't see it, it's just normal. You can get mad at who they are as people rather than understanding who they might be now. Does that make sense?
Yes. And it also from the people around them, it has to take a maturity to see that people can change and that they can still be the person that you love. But a lot of people just love like no change and consistency. And I want you to be the person that like you always were, because then I can count on that, and that makes me feel safe.
Exactly.
Right.
And don't change a script. How dare you do that? And what I used to say to you, and what I used to be able to get away with you bothers you. Not me, I'm saying people in general.
I know.
And then they get mad at that. And, it's very common in marriage.
I honked at a child today.
I know.
I would never have done that before. I'd been embarrassed to do that.
I know.
By the way, I honked at him because he was punching his friend, and I was not. I'm turning into a cranky old lady.
But I thought that was okay. I thought, I think so much of, I saw this thing, okay? And this is kind of like for a Friday relationship one, but I'm going to say it, where women step into a role when they're younger, and they like to be, or this is how our script went. They like to be the peacemaker, the kind one. I'm gonna make dinner. I'm gonna be sweet. I'm like, it's okay. He works hard. You sleep, and I'm gonna take care of the baby because you need your rest too. And we give and we give and we give, and it's no one's fault that they take and they take and they take. If you're giving, I'm taking.
100%.
Like, how is it? If you're happy doing it, how am I to say you're not happy doing it? Why am I to say, no, you do too much, sit down? Very few people are going to say that.
Yeah. When you just, like, someone says something to you in your life, and it's like, it's one of those like mottos that stays at the front of your head all the time. It's like the first time I ever heard, and I'm pretty sure it must have been Oprah, is you teach people how to treat you. That is so true. And in same case, like if you're always doing something and they're always taking, because that's what they thought you wanted.
And that's what you told them you wanted by doing it. So, and then women are kind of like, fuck it. And they all of a sudden, and I think they keep saying a message over and over again to maybe their partners, maybe their friends, and people don't want to hear it because they're still living it the way. But they're trying to talk and communicate of how they feel. And then I think women just become like, fuck it, it's easier just to go, rather than actually having a conversation about change, because I think we talk like we want things differently, but then we want everything to be not confrontational, not tricky. So we placate back, and then we get fed up with it again. And then the conversation comes back up again. And then we go back to our ways. And then it comes up again.
But I like the way I was before. It was a very nice life.
Obviously it wasn't.
No, it was.
Yeah, but what changed?
I don't know. But like, I don't like.
You're not okay with it.
But I would have been like in the few confrontations that I've recently had that in most of the ways I started it, if I hadn't have done that, I would have been fine with it. It's like I couldn't control myself.
Exactly.
But I don't like that. I would rather not be that way.
But maybe you just know yourself better.
Well, now I have an enemy living on the other side of my wall.
I don't know if you have an enemy. I think that you can put a boundary in and not have an enemy. And maybe that's part of you growing up, is understanding that you can have boundaries and people can get mad and not like them, but that doesn't mean that you're not likable. You can say something, someone can disagree with you, and you can be like, okay, well, I disagree with you, that you disagree with me.
I know some people are so good at that.
That's your life lesson right now. And Oprah's going to keep serving it to you until you hear the universe. Remember, she says,
I don't think
whispers and then become screams. The universe will serve you what you need to learn.
But I don't think I can recover from my confrontation.
Of course you can.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, of course you can.
Of course you can.
No. I don't think I can.
It's only a confrontation if you see it as a confrontation.
No, but I don't think I can recover from the one with my neighbor. I don't think I can ever look at him the same. And now I look at his wife the same way. That is so misunderstanding of me. I would hate someone to be like that.
Maybe
I'm supposed to move. Maybe that's the whisper.
Maybe you'll never be best friends. And maybe
I'm never talking to them.
Yes, you will.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm
not.
That's your choice. So you're being a judgy, cranky, confrontational person.
Such a loser.
No, stop it. This is
I know.
In your opinion, that interaction was loserish. However, I'm sure you are a loser in your life too many times.
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just curious. Do you think
we're all losers?
That with this person I had a confrontation with, do you think I'll ever have like a nice conversation one day with them?
I think.
Hey, how's it going?
I think it's your choice.
How's your summer?
It's your choice. I think you could. I think you'd be like, how are you?
And then I have to hear his voice.
It's just one. Hey, how? You
think I can? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Hi. And then he's going to do something else to bother me, and then I'm going to be like, I wish I didn't say hey.
Because you don't have to talk to them for every day. Just if you have pleasantries. Natalie, you get in your life if you can have less enemies and more people who you can.
It's better?
Yes, you can understand. If you can just.
It's kind of fun to hate your neighbor, though.
If you can fuck it and be like, oh, well, we have different opinions, but this is how I feel. Don't fuck with my kids. I think that's a very fine boundary.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you should continue the hate that you're not teaching people.
Oh, fine. Ugh.
I think it's you don't see them. You're really overthinking the rope but I would just be like, I'll never forget when we got in a massive fight with our neighbors over something. They just moved in. There was some fight. They were calling the city. It was crazy. And this was not to be manipulative. No, I dropped off flowers. And I wrote a note and I said, I'm sorry we had such a misunderstanding. That's not how I like things to go down. I wish you all the best. That was it. I mean, listen, it turned out terrible. They kept calling people on me. Like, I didn't do anything. But I felt as if I had done what I needed to do to be okay with the situation. And if you need to carry the anger and the hate, cool. I'm doing nothing wrong. If I was doing something wrong, maybe I'd feel bad about it. You did nothing wrong with any of the confrontations you're in right now. I think you just have to stop and be like, what is my part in this?
You know what? I'm going to say hi to him. I'm going to tell you how it goes. I'm
going
to act like it never happened.
Did you do anything wrong?
No.
Okay. Did you?
And neither did he, really.
Okay. So look at this therapy session in the podcast today. I just think so often we want.
And he wasn't aggressive, and he could have been.
So we
just swore at my kids, but words are just words, right?
I mean, yes. Look at the hockey rink.
Mm-hmm. Words are just words. We swear all the time.
I mean, people swear at kids all the time on the bench, and we don't get mad at them.
Do you think maybe they're nice?
I think 100% everybody has the capability to be nice, or I don't think they're bad people. I think it was just a misunderstanding. I think that when you move in, some people really, really care about, like, my husband really cares about his car. Really cares about it. It's his thing. Everyone has a thing. And if that's your thing and people are being ambivalent about the thing you love, it's going to piss you off.
Should I write him a note?
It'd be very nice of you. If it makes you feel better, I'm not saying to do it. I think that in every situation.
I feel like I'm drunk right now.
Maybe you are. Maybe I drugged you. Maybe we're on hallucinogenics.
Oh, yeah,
no, I just think that life is so fucking intense and short. And if you can just sit and look at the confrontation and say, okay, this is my part. This is your part. This is what I did wrong, or this is what I did not do wrong. And I'm going to take responsibility for what I did. Fuck, life would be so much easier.
Neighbors are weird.
Yeah, you see them every single day. They have sex beside you every single day. They get naked beside you every single. They take a shit beside you every single. Like, you share the water for the toilet.
It's really weird living in the same space. Like, people that live in the country and have more distance between their neighbors, that feels more normal, because it's like you're living in the same place.
You are, technically. It's like an apartment building.
Oh, that's a lot closer.
I mean, you're no closer.
No, I'm very close.
You attach a wall. Imagine you went crazy and you cut a hole in the middle of the wall and started throwing things and screaming and yelling.
Oh.
Sometimes I think about what it would be like to just be crazy. Like, and crazy, I know there's a bad connotation towards
that
it.
sounded crazy, so yeah.
But I feel like sometimes I think I have the ability to think crazy. It just, and I hope one day I don't act on it.
Oh my God, I hope you do.
No.
Yeah.
No, imagine I came and crashed in.
But you wouldn't crash into me.
No, but I'd make a hole in your wall. And
Not mine.
Yeah, to them.
Them. Oh, him. Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
I'd take a chainsaw and cut
But how exciting would that just be? Like, it would be like a crazy story. Like, life would be so outrageous.
I'd be in jail.
You think?
If I went and cut through their hole and started screaming and throwing things at them, yes.
How thick do you think the wall between my house
I'm sure
and
there's
his?
concrete and things.
Show me with your hands how deep the wall
I'll
is.
need to come over and listen. I need to put a glass to it. But you have beams and you have things in there.
I can you can hear someone talking.
I mean, I have that thing where you can go find things, like it beeps when you're close to a beam.
Like this wide?
Oh no,
Wider?
you're much thinner.
Thinner.
Oh yeah, you're not that thick. Like it's probably something in between.
And do you think their headboard is up against mine?
We'll have to get a drone and look in through the window.
They may not even live in the same bed.
Exactly.
I mean, why did they get such a big house?
Exactly.
There's only 2 of them.
Often I wonder what the.
Am I about to get into more confrontations in my life? I don't want to.
I think you have to learn how to handle them and be okay with them, because confrontations are part of life.
I did when I got into the one, I did such a good job staying calm.
Yeah,
actually in both of them.
That's a secret.
See, because in the old days, I think that I probably would have cried.
See, you're growing up. And also, I think
one of them I was drunk, so
I think about the line between paranoid and keeping you safe, because there's a line, right? There's a fine line between being paranoid and your body and instincts keeping you safe. So today I'm driving home and I turn the corner and there's this red van all beat up, okay? And he has stopped outside of the park.
Yes.
Okay. Red van, y'all. Red old van.
I thought it was only a problem if it was white
so
or
did
black.
Until I saw this one. I'm like, probably if you are a kidnapper, you probably don't want to be in red, because easy find. Anyways, the
bright
red,
not burgundy,
red,
okay,
sitting there outside of the park where children are, and it's a man in parked not in a good spot, like easily able to be and I just turned and I thought, if I was paranoid, I could think that person was there waiting for me to take the corner, and then they're going to radio to someone else and be like 10-4, 10-4.
Oh, I thought they were just stealing the kids.
Well,
they were for you.
But they were pretending to be there to steal the kids, but they were actually just in a front to go and to be like 10-4. She's turned the corner.
And what do they want from you? And do they want your dog?
I don't know.
Actually, being paranoid is a very scary thing, actually.
I know, but I could see the line, because the line of, for women is very thin. When you're walking down the street and someone's behind you, you turn around. If you weren't on that line of keeping yourself safe and paranoid, you wouldn't be like, who's behind me? You wouldn't open the door and look around. Like, there is a very fine line there between keeping you safe and paranoia, if you think about it.
Yeah.
If it's nighttime and you're walking home, you're walking fast, you're looking around, you're nervous that you're not safe, which is a form of paranoia. I think I'm making this up as I go.
I have very, very little paranoia about things.
We don't walk very far out nighttime or do
no,
things.
but I mean, I never have, and I don't I never go to think I have such a good imagination and fantasy world for some things, but as far as paranoia, in all things world, not really. But as I get older, I might.
Yeah, and hypochondria, paranoia.
Oh, and I don't have any of that either.
No, I don't have a lot of that either. Sometimes I can, because I think bodies are so weird and you don't really know what's going on inside.
Mm-hmm. Plus, our bodies are probably just robots.
And sometimes I think, I don't know what's going on inside you right now.
Are you talking your body?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's going on? And that's sometimes when it makes noise and you're like, why now? I didn't need anything different. Why are you being so noisy?
I'm so tired. What do I have? Is it iron? It's funny. It's a weird line to think about. That's a very fine. And if you consume too much of something, you can cross the line.
Like what?
Like if all you do, during COVID when people wouldn't go out.
CNN.
Or when COVID, when people wouldn't go out, it became a line of when you went out and you were like, oh my God, like, did I just get, like, you could see COVID everywhere. And in your head,
Panic.
Do I have COVID? I'm coughing. They had COVID. Do I have COVID now? I was with someone who had COVID on the week. It was Panic at the Disco.
Oh, for sure. It was Panic at the Disco. You know, and you guys might know some of these people, or you might be one of these people, but I do know a couple who still don't want to be in like closed areas with a lot of people, always have bottles of Purell around, and are constantly like, it's still a conversation, the COVID thing. And it's kind of funny because, you know, with COVID, a lot of people make their own rules.
Yeah.
So even within their dynamic, they have their own rules about where the COVID might lie, but it doesn't quite lie there, but it will go lie there.
Okay.
But I guess, like, I don't think that they'll ever get over that. And the thing is that they just get reminded when people continue to get COVID now that's
the line.
That they're like, there it is again.
But what is your anxiety of big places?
Whose?
You.
You mean places with no windows?
And lots of people.
Yeah. Like.
But what is that? Paranoia or anxiety?
I think it's claustrophobia.
Which is what? A creation in your head of something that your body's in your happening. Oh, that's what I mean. The lines of.
It is really crazy to think that like claustrophobia or even like fear of heights, fear of anything,
created in your brain.
It's a choice that your brain just makes.
Isn't that crazy?
Which is so weird because, you know, and then you've got triggers of it. So like first you see the room and you're like, the first thing you think is, when I walked into a place, is there going to be a place for me to sit?
So we're thinking when we're walking outside, is that person walking? Is that person, right? So it's these weird things that we do in our head. You're having a conversation with yourself that could be crazy.
You know, so I was thinking last night, you know how like it feels like and guys, this could be a trigger for people who get addicted to prescription pills, but in Canada, it would be very harder to do it because we don't get access to pills. And even if they give us a pill, they give us, in my experience, they'll give you like 4
at a time.
Yeah. And then like you have to have a real good reason to get more.
I had a C-section and they gave me Tylenol. I had a C-section and my husband was like,
Not even Tylenol 3?
It was 3 it was Tylenol and Advil because I was so paranoid of getting addicted to things.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, he looked at it, he's like, this is nothing. Because when he was a hockey player, they would give him all kinds. He's like, I have Percocets. And I'm like, I don't want that.
I do. So I was thinking last night, you know, a lot of people get them. What do they get to fly with?
Huh? Valium, Xanax.
Xanax. Yeah, Xanax. And they, you know, Americans, you guys often talk about like Xanax, like it's just like
pop to Xanny.
Yes.
You just take a Xanny.
So I was thinking, how could I get my hands on some? Just some, you know, because I have a sleeping pill and I'm very good with making it last. I even have half sometimes.
You almost went over the edge on that one too, and we had to pull you back and Google what would be the ramifications.
And I see the ramifications of taking it too many days in a row. Then I can't sleep the next night. So I can immediately feel that don't do it because then you're just going to screw yourself because you don't have an unlimited amount of pills. Do you know what I mean? So I'm smart enough to realize that.
To ration your pills, yes.
Unlike our friend who just thought you're supposed to take them every day.
Well, and he kept getting them every day.
I know.
That's tricky.
That was tricky. So I ration my sleeping pills, which is kind of fun because if I really want to have a good sleep or I need it, then I'll take it. Or if I know I need to wake up early. But the Xanax, I'm like, all those times when...
Yes.
All those times where I'm going to maybe be, I don't know how fast Xanax works, but like if I feel like I'm in a situation like that, I feel like I'm the kind of person who deserves a Xanax.
Deserves.
Well, you know, like, you know, like I feel like I might have the problem that might need that.
Oh.
I would have been able to stay at curriculum night last night if I maybe had a Xanax. Can't you imagine? I don't know.
But you coped and you did it without
I left
Xanax.
The room.
That's okay.
Well, I didn't stay.
That's okay.
Everybody else got to stay.
Did you want to stay?
Well, I didn't want to have to leave.
It sounds like we're in a conundrum. Guess we're going to have to beat this one out in the next podcast.
Like, you know, like if I'm in an when I used to have to stand that airport
you're on
line.
drugs for anxiety.
I know.
You can't take more.
But I don't want it to be like, okay, so Xanax works like, I think situational. So like how Vyvanse works day by day, what mine is a gradual, like lowers the anxiety.
Life.
So but it's gradual. So if I don't take it today, I'm not going to feel different because it's in my, you know,
yeah,
and it takes it's a slow like thing. But I feel like Xanax works right away and then wears off. So it's like a situational drug. But people take it every day because they like the feeling of feeling like that. But I feel like I should have it for situational situations.
I think you'd abuse it.
But what if they don't give it to me a lot?
You would abuse it.
How would I get it?
Because you love it.
But how would I get more?
You would find a way.
I don't know. I'm pretty reasonable with my doctor. I don't even ask for more unless it's been a long time. But you know,
you like the feeling too much, and you know that.
Oh, I know I would, but I don't think I'd get my hands on it. But Six Flags, 2
you
years
could abuse
ago,
it.
a place like Disney.
Well, we're not going to go there.
No, I know we're not going to go there, but that's Six Flags. I saw the line and I immediately started to panic.
We're not going to go there. We could do cognitive behavioral therapy too.
I would prefer drugs.
Exactly the problem.
I want to try what it feels like.
We'll see y'all next week.